Coming up on Mountain News this morning, an intense situation at this year's Kentucky State Fair leads to the arrest of nearly 10 people, and some new data shows a concerning increase in the number of traffic deaths here in the Commonwealth.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning to you. It's almost 6:32 on this Monday morning. I'm Dakota Makris. We always appreciate y'all waking up with us. Let's head over to Brandon Robinson for a look at our forecast this morning. Brandon, good morning to you.
Good morning. It's a kind of foggy start to the day. There's actually a little bit of rain out there in some places this morning. We'll take you a little bit of a tour of that, but so far so good for most of the region, but some parts seeing a few showers this morning. Let's go down and take a look at live pinpoint Doppler radar, and you'll see again a lot of green. That's basically ground clutter, but down near the border into parts of Harlan and Letcher counties, back up that way near Cumberland this morning, over toward the Lee County and Harlan County line there going into southwest Virginia, and near the Bell and Claiborne County line. A few spotty showers out there this morning, so that's going to keep the clouds around those areas. London Corbett Airport still looking pretty overcast this morning. They are at 70 degrees. One of our warm responses will head out the door. Barometric pressure rather about 29.96. So kind of right there at the stable. We could see a little bit of a lower pressure trying to pass by just to our south or something like that. Dew points in the upper 60s there. So kind of soupy, but again, not too bad out there this morning because the air temperatures are still a little bit lower. 64 in Wise is our cool spot this morning, 65 in Clintwood. Everybody else basically mid to upper 60s and low 70s as you head out the door. Your day planner for today, again, temperatures kind of staying in the cooler range before the clouds clear this afternoon. I do think we'll see some sunshine by later in the day, and temperatures top out in the low 80s this afternoon. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you. The Kentucky State Fair was forced to close Saturday night after an incident of shots fired. 9 people were arrested, 6 of them minors, on a variety of charges, including possession of a handgun. Upon investigation, officers realized noisemakers had been used, which scared fairgoers into thinking they were gunshots. Kennedy Hayes reports on how one family was traumatized by the experience.
The Kentucky State Fair, a place usually filled with family fun, transforms into a frenzy, shutting down Saturday night. Some stuck on rides, watching the crowds run below. Kentucky State Police called to the scene just before 9:30 that night. A family wanting to remain anonymous says they saw the chaos unfold in real time. The father brought his fiance and 10-year-old daughter out to the fair.
I love the fair. It's one of the most enjoyable experiences I can remember as a kid. You know, it's built making memories. I wanted to take the girls. This is the 3rd time I've taken them. They'd never been.
The couple says they first realized there was a problem when they were in line for this ride, the Alter Ego, and the power shut off.
I can't even begin to describe the feeling that I felt whenever my fiance had to hug me and my daughter to shield us from whatever was going on in that moment. All I could do is pray that there weren't any active firearms.
The couple says they started walking towards the big tent when they heard what they believed to be a gunshot.
Heard a loud pop, probably about 25, 30 feet behind us. I turn around and I see a kid running, teenager running. 12 state troopers. I grab the girls, I wrap them up. Again.
Then the family says they watched as troopers chased a man with what they thought was a handgun.
He gets about halfway to the south wing in the parking lot over there behind the big tent.
They tased the kid, took him to the ground.
The family says they made it to their car safely without any injuries. They are most worried about the emotional scars of their daughter. Her childhood version of the fair forever clouded.
I don't know if I'll ever be able to take her to the fair again. I don't want her, I'm afraid it'll cause her anxiety, and I don't want her to go in somewhere and thinking we're going to have a good time and have something in the back of your mind that this can happen again.
Well, the Kentucky State Fair reopened Sunday without incident. The State Fair Board is requiring kids younger than 18 to be accompanied by a parent or guardian 21 or older after 6 p.m. The fair has also increased lighting throughout the grounds and added additional law enforcement officers on duty during peak hours. Well, nearly 2 months ago, a devastating shooting took the lives of 3 officers and 1 canine officer in Floyd County. Now people in Jessamine County are coming together to show support for their police officers and their own canine officer. Jessamine County Sheriff's Office received an anonymous donation to buy a bulletproof vest for their canine officer, Macho Man. Interim Sheriff Anthony Purcell says someone called and told them to pick out whichever vest they wanted for Macho and then sent the money for it. The vest can cost upwards of $800. People in Jessamine County commented on a Facebook post from the police department saying how special this donation is. Well, the sheriff says they're all so grateful for the donation and the positive reactions from the community.
It makes you feel, you know, definitely appreciated, because sometimes in law enforcement you don't always feel that way. And, you know, everybody, you know, making the comments, you know, the donation in and of itself, it does. It makes you feel good. And, you know, it lets you know where you stand in the community.
And while Macho Man is still getting used to wearing that bulletproof vest, the officers say they're so grateful to have the community support. And while the woman who donated the funds wished to remain anonymous, officials say they know who she is and they are very appreciative of the gift. New government numbers show 2022 is off to a rough start when it comes to traffic deaths throughout Kentucky. Traffic deaths are increasing. In the first quarter of 2022, 206 people died in Kentucky crashes, a 27.2% increase above the first quarter of last year, almost 4 times the national rate. In the first 3 months of the year, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration estimates more than 9,500 people in the U.S. died in crashes, an increase compared to last year of about 7%. There is no one reason behind it, but bad habits seem to be more prevalent.
I feel like I just see people on their phones a lot more often now while they're driving, and driving really fast, especially on the highways, and generally just not paying attention like they should be anymore.
Kentucky is part of a cluster of middle Atlantic states, the worst part of the country when you look at jumps in traffic deaths. Not only did deaths in this area increase 52% compared to last year, but the same region showed the rate of deaths was also increasing. That means passengers in crashes in 2022 are more likely to die than last year. A longtime radio personality from Lexington is being remembered for his contributions to the community. A memorial was held Sunday for Carl Shannon, who died several months ago. Shannon entertained country music audiences for more than 50 years. He had a passion for country music, but he was also a lover of classic cars. He hosted several car shows raising money for St. Jude, UK Hospital, and Waveland State Historic Site. And this year, the tradition continued, this time remembering Carl Shannon.
I don't know if you've ever been to Waveland, but it's a wonderful place, and I just fell in love with it last year. Talked about doing a car cruise, so we're just going to have people bring their cars they love, you know, if they got old ones or, you know, street rods or whatever.
And there was definitely a big collection of cars this year full of people with fond memories of Carl.
.39 here on this Monday morning. We're tracking some showers, and they're basically hanging out near the borders. Kentucky, Virginia, and Tennessee, maybe just a little bit into West Virginia, but we had some rain on the Whitesburg camera a little earlier, and if we had cameras down in Harlan, we'd be able to see some rain over that way and down into Bell County as well. So it's kind of creeping across the border, moving straight east this morning, so some showers still possible along parts of the area. That's keeping us a little cooler in southwest Virginia, 64Y, 65 Clintwood. Everybody else, though, upper 60s and 70 in London and Prestonsburg, the warmest spots in the region this morning. Dew points are up there, but you're not really feeling it as much as you normally would because of the temperatures being just a little bit lower and the sun's not quite up yet. So our day planner for today, temperatures hang out in the 60s this morning, heading into the 70s and 80s this afternoon. Can't rule out some stray rain chances, but I do believe those will start to dry out as we head deeper into the evening, and the sunshine will return later this afternoon as well. Dakota?
All right, Brandon, thank you so much. Well, the time is 6:40, still to come here on Mountain News this morning. In the wake of the overturning of Roe versus Wade, a murky market for abortion pills seems to be thriving. That's coming up next.